Quite a bit of time has passed since the announcement of the continuation of the first Dead Island. Okay, a little more than little bit. Okay, more than little bit, but still, with grief in how this game finally came out. With such success, maybe we will wait for the second Stalker, and then the third Half-Life is just around the corner. So the fate of the second Dead Island was very difficult. It was thrown from the developers to developers, and everything even reached to the freezing of the project. But then the publisher caught the eye of the developer of the mediocre Homefront The Revolution and a good TimeSplitters, and they still managed to drive this poor game for a vicious release. Let's see how much such a long production hell harmed the game. The game starts like a first one, with a stylish cutscene showing how the whole invention started, but the intro of the second game is much inferior of the first one in small detail, namely the music. Hoodoo Voodoo Bitch is so embedded in the holes of the body of most of those who played the first game that even in this game it will be mentioned. That music that plays here is forgotten immediately as soon as opening intro ends. After it starting a new game, you can notice the same problem that accompanied the introductory intro of the first game, namely the subtitles, which I turned off, but in this intro they still continue to be displayed, as if the video had already been rendered with them.
Oh my god, you're Emma John, right? And Robert Steele?
At the end of this South Park parody, we were given a choice of character. Naturally, I choose a white natural man, because this is already an endangered species and it is necessary that they be preserved at least in some form. Also, at the expense of his orientation, I would not be sure. Somehow he supposedly touched zombies' eggs with pleasure, but oh hell. This bisexual straight man woke up after a plane crash to find a foreign object in his stomach. What is characteristics of men with indefinite orientation and beyond? Yeah, well done, and now it would not be hurt you to die. Or not. Just think, a hefty hole in the belly from which all the intenses should have fallen out. Even walking a little limping will not hurt. And the bottle of booze, adrenaline and a band-aid will instantly heal that little scratch. Praising a modern game for graphics is of course such an occupation. It's hard to make not beautiful game in 2023. But still, this game from very beginning to the end will be full of not only detailed graphics, but also very beautiful and juicy location design and sometimes cool styling. That do not even require 4090 for stable operation, right, Jedi?
People, this is Emma Jaunt. Of course, you know what a huge star she is. Romero,
Emma Jaunt,
no
as you
less.
can understand, the actress is fictional, because the developers call some real-life actor proof and felt they had to take a shit. No matter how events are taking place in Los Angeles, it would be cool to see some cool cameo, and same famous name would attract more people to this game, thereby increasing sales and proving the game is more potential for a third game. But the fact that they called the local Oscar Romero and made a figure from the form of the hand crawling out of the ground, this is just a beautiful reference to the grandfather of all horror zombies. And now we have a task called Kill Them All, which will accompany us throughout the game. Almost on every main, namely the main one, not the some side quest, they will constantly tell us, in short, we close you here and this location and let a huge crowd of zombies attack you, run and kill them. The zombies just suddenly decided that they urgently need to all come one place at once. Here is such a wide variety of text in the game. The zombies themselves are dismembered quite beautifully. Cuts from knives remains, arms, legs, head fall off, blow feels pleasant, everything is beautiful and juicy in general. Let me guess, he's immune?
Goddamn right.
We passed the introduction, we were allowed to open world in Los Angeles, to which I have only one question. Since when did it become an island? Cause if it's not an island, the name of the game makes little sense. These circuit breakers, batteries, keycards, passwords and all like. Wherever we go, almost every door will always be closed, and we will have to run around the location and look for the item needed to open it. And sometimes these pricks decided to unite with the last one, and you need to destroy a hefty crowd of zombies in order to find the key I need to decide sight of them. And that's fine if the stuff you need is nearby the obvious place, but sometimes you have to suck on the floor on a location to find that fucking circuit breaker. That's how talented Quest developers work on the game. Somehow I want to play Homefront The Revolution now less and less after such an acquaintance with the developers. And some locks on the door work in the principle: if there is no electricity, then why should we close? Just like in Dying Light, the metal that weapon is made of is cheap plastic that breaks so fast that I didn't even know the metal could do break quickly. We have the opportunity to step on the head of lion zombie in order to crush it, thereby filling it up with a blow. But this function works when it wants to work, and when it doesn't want to work, the zombie will lie quietly resting and we cannot step on his head. If the doors is locked, then even broken windows will not help me get inside.
Who's out there?
Can't you see through the camera? Throughout the game, the hero will be constantly shot the bite, which will eventually lead to the possibility of turning into a monster of any time, which we by no means saw in Dying Light.
Take these off, my fever's gone. I'm feeling human again.
You do seem better, but you're staying locked up.
They're surrounding the house! They're trying to get in!
Give me the key to the cuffs. I can help.
Oh, shit! Okay, they're toy cuffs, just press the button.
Oh,
Come
what
on.
fuck's sake?
That's what, but with the humor of the local screenwriters, alright. There were sometimes moments when I laughed right out of my voice from one another phrase. But what the developers did not succeed in the pumping system. Instead of the standard one like everyone else, with the gradual discovery and unlocking new skills, here we gradually open slots for cards, and accordingly the cards themselves. If only card is open, then remove one of those there are and put a new one, which is not very convenient. And the upgrades that these cards give are sometimes quite dubious. This kick killed this zombie to death. Even in the gameplay, such a kick would not really do any damage to him. Also, if you hit a zombie while it's doing a hit a gram animation, your hit won't cancel this animation.
Well, what's the point in having a big gate if you don't close it?
This of course is fair, but it's like there is another gate in the closed. But this closed gate don't interfere with some zombies how to appear inside this territory.
Oh, come on, work, you stupid fucking thing.
It's funny, but after a while I began to react in exactly the same way, with exactly the same intonation, to another missing circuit breaker. Endless water and endless gasoline in canisters, which if knocked out, liquid will pour out of them no matter how much they lie on the ground.
Shut the door!
This woman has been living in the house for several years and does not know that these doors close by themselves.
Oh, you got no shot on this 8-ball.
I wouldn't say that I was crazy about such an epic appearance of this character, because I already managed to forget him. The first game is already 350-year-old, but when he started talking and telling who he is,
This zombie shit happened twice already.
I'm like, oh cool, so this is cool. How to understand from the dialogue that you are playing modern game.
I'm immune.
Big deal. So are they.
The main character is called not by him or her, but by them. Because the fact that he looks like a man does not mean that he cannot have a vagina. Well, either the developers are just lazy and did not want to make two different versions of the replica for different characters. Where's button? Where's button? I need to drive this back, man. Give me a button where the button has disappeared to. Ah, there it is. Since this black man fumbles from the zombie apocalypse, he teaches us everything that he himself did, namely the pumping of weapons, which in principle has remained almost unchanged from the first game. They screw up a little something, unscrewed a little something, and in the end it's quite normal.
If you're really going out there, I got some stuff you need.
Which I will provide you for money, because salvation is salvation, but I will need dollars for living world.
You can't just jump in a car and go. The roads are all blocked.
How about getting in a boat and sailing away? You seem to be in Los Angeles.
This would be a lot fucking easier with some help.
Naturally, that island is not interfered to tradition and can also be played in co-op. But since I won among my friends spent all my money on games, and I almost live on the street and I already met several neighbors homeless, I go through it alone. But it's even better, because the game should be passable and interesting with any number of players. I don't remember if there's such an ability in the first game, but it was in Dying Light. Namely, I couldn't sneak up on the zombie from behind and one shot kill him from the blow. And just like in the first Dead Island and Dying Light, all the inhabitants of Los Angeles suddenly decided to acquire a melee weapon, based on their numbers on the streets. I'm very sorry, don't hit me, but I'm going to compare this game to Dying Light one more time. There is no getting around it. Both parts of the Dying Light taught me me that the main character is a monkey who can climb everything that had horizontal surface, and while playing this game I was a little disappointed by the lack of this parkour, without which it became a little more boring and move around the location. This is the maximum that the protagonist of the intermediate gender is capable of. I can't even jump over the zombie, which is very uncool in narrow field corridors. Zombies can climb vents, but they can't use doors. The protagonist crashed to the ground from such a jump because he has immunity to the zombie virus and not a paved surface. From time to time the game decided to turn into The Witcher with these crime scene investigations of his. Only here it is done so badly that you can sometimes run around the location for hours trying to find in order to con, which can sometimes be the size of Kinchin in dick. I don't know what kind of dick he has, but Asians have small dicks, and in general sometimes you need to run around looking for quite a long time.
Caustic X. Some kind of industrial solvent. And they had gallons of it. Jesus. The army filled the pool with solvent and just tossed the bodies in. When it got full, they pumped the meat soup straight into the drains. Oh, this is so fucked up!
They are swimming there now. They will not even think about melting in the acid. And the power supply that is floating there now can even work after such a bath. During the beautiful kill, slow-mo is triggered so that I clearly see how the zombie model disappears before the fire model appeals. But regardless, some kills in slow-mo beautiful as hell.
Okay, go around or try to put this out.
Or just jump through it, which won't do me such a damage. By the way, with the same amount of fire and need to constantly exist it, there is very little opportunity to piss, instead of which you need to run and look for canisters of water. How did the zombies manage to get into the ventilation shaft, the entrances to which are all in the ceiling?
Hello? Can you hear me?
I hear you. I'm Dr. Reed. Did you hear my message? Where are you?
Here is such a clear sound you can hear from this Full HD high definition walkie-talkie, which is now inferior to quality of live continuation with this character who is standing right in front of me. Here we meet our first boss, who is the personification of real woman in a view of Hollywood, and these bosses, all that will be in the game, will exhaust my fucking nerves, on which I will die countless times. But as soon as I started to hate this game and want to turn it off, I defeated the boss, so it's probably still a minus sin, for the fact that the boss are hard, but not too hard. Especially if you go through the side quests that I didn't touch, then the battles will be even easier. By the way, our hands in the game, this is probably the most powerful impenetrable object, given that if they placed in front of me, they can protect me from any blows from any most powerful opponents. What do they protect? Even from the shock wave that goes along the floor and should knock me down. This is how our hands send fuck to the laws of physics. Oh, and also during the first boss fight, I gradually began to change the finger that press the trigger, because this trigger needs to press so often and quickly that your finger will become anime very quickly and will need to be amputated. This game has Wolverine claws in an awesome weapon. Moving from this place here to this place, judging by the change in lighting, took the hero a whole day. When the hero is electrocuted, he makes very cool sounds.
Guess who's back? The man with the plan.
Also, the hero calls himself a man, despite the fact that no one uses this outdated term of a person with a dick, which in principle he may not have. The reference to RDR 2 is still cool.
I have the goddamn...
There's a doctor in Santa Monica. We need to get to it.
We? What's this we?
I think the survival of the human race may depend on the blood in my veins.
Really?
Emma reacted to this like she's some kind of fucking important person who is the only one of all of us who should be saved from the city. I understand that this is part of her character, but this does not make her a lesser bitch, which now I want to save a little less.
I don't think I can make it alone.
Yes, because you will be helped a lot by a little spoiled girl, a fag man, a granny, and who else was with them. A very useful set for the zombie apocalypse. The only one who really could help was the Negro from the first game, and he, I think, could come with us without any others. This metal Wolverine claws that the hero holds with his bare hands can be fitted with an electrical upgrade, because why not hold a piece of metal in your hands through which 1 billion kilowatts of electricity passes? Wow. It was beautiful. And depending on what kind of weapon you have in your hands, such finishing will be different and beautiful in its own way. But if a zombie has too much health, this finishing move will not finish him to the end, which is insulting.
Please don't be dead, Michael.
If Michael turns out to dead, that he is not be able to cope with the zombies, which means that he is not very useful for you and you can finally give up on the useless dig bastards and go save yourself. I present to your attention the reflections in the mirrors in the game mode 2023 with the graphics set to ultra. Great, isn't it? Dorm, don't fuck off, start the cutscene, fucking door, start please, fucking cutscene, well done.
Hey Roxy, we got company, find your jeans.
That is, a man with a bare ass in a frame can walk, but a woman cannot. Oh, these modern games. Fuck the oceans is a bad idea. Their sharks swim. Gorgeous reflections, this is not only a remarkable thing in the game, because if you look closer to our shadow and compare its movement with the movement of our weapon in the hands, you can notice that the animations are fucking us with something. This zombie is immune to hits with hard and sharp objects, what the hell is he doing? Sometimes after death you respawn in who knows where, only to run a long distance to the goal, wasting a lot of time. After the revival this door bugged me and I didn't want to open, for which I had to reload the checkpoint, and in order to reload a checkpoint, you need to go the main menu of the game, because they forgot to add such a function to the pause menu. Stepping inside these buggy doors, I was greeted my asshole turning. The opponents are only one level taller than me, but it's so fucked up here, and they constantly surround you from all sides, that you will see the screen of death more often than the average fat man has seen a fat hamburgers. It's just fucked up, and not a level. It got to the point that I tried to the best to run past the opponents, but even so, they sometimes manage to hit you, and if doesn't help that you understand what the hell is going on, and therefore didn't would it slow down and take a look around the whole location. But fuck you, stop with all the zombies wanting to fuck your ass, which is this whole level on the set.
More footprints.
That took me 5 steps further from where I was. No matter how I cut this t-shirt with a knife, it didn't think to fall off. By activating this elevator, it will take a very long time, during which we will again need to move down away from zombies, but when it reaches...
It wasn't even a real elevator.
It turns out that this is a fake elevator and they supposedly made fun of these long traveling elevators from the movies, which is cool. It was very beautiful. And the rest of this fake gas station is not very good. In order to defeat this bull and not die, you need to endlessly run from one console to another, launch these lights, and from time to time throw endless grenades and shurikens to him, which will take quite a long time. Just run back and forth, such a boss fight. If you scratch a canister of tank of gasoline several times, then for some reason it will explode. And in this boss fight, the game decided to crash. Why not? And when you finally kill this boss and relax, thinking that everything is behind you and save you, some less zombie will kill you, because you have health after this battle, there is almost nothing left, and you will have to start this battle from the very beginning. The bursting water tank knocked down everyone who was nearby, that's why they have powerful water there in California. Yes, sometimes the creators choose the right music that is very successful, due to which this is that battle with a crowd of zombies only becomes more fun. Yes, and the superpower of the zombie who was the singer is a very loud scream that knocks everyone down and attracts new zombies in the location. But that's why, unlike everyone else, she withstands much more blows to herself. Being an ordinary scrawny woman is not entirely clear. And if you drag out of this battle too long, then the music will reach the end and you will spend the rest of the battle in complete silence. I have no idea how it works, but for some reason, time after time, in every melee zombie game, yes, it's such a genre, fuck you, the developers manage to make firearms equal shitty. If you don't know how to do it, why the hell do you do it? And for some reason, it is during the firing of the firearms the game begins to lose FPS very noticeably. And if you apply a certain improvement to it, to which the zombies are immune, they will not receive any damage, because that's how the bullets work.
Damn, man. How long you been bit for?
How long have you been speaking in the voice of a Looney Tunes character? Quite a lot I've seen gangsta niggas hold their gun sideways, but upside down? Is it generally convenient?
I'm leaving. Step aside.
I keep saying, don't trust those fucks. You're better off here.
Already, this is not the first time I have been warned that it's better not to trust good doctors with a vaccine, but the main character does not listen and goes these doctors. And so surprised they turn out to be bad. Twist called fuck, I didn't expect it in any way. Hugs, 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 hugs. This disc has a sticker on both sides. How does it work? Why does the movie starts with a trailer disclaimer? And how can you call a movie good or even
Only one of the greatest movies ever made.
which just starts with a huge and long wall of text? Why quickly make your way through the unstable bride of the about to collapse if you can stand for a long time and look at everything around, so that in the end you don't have time to get in the end to fall down. This mistress of Tarantino always and everywhere goes barefoot, which means that her legs should not be the same as shown here, but everything is already in rotten, uncleared in cuts, or even already with dread. Santa Monica is very far from here. Find some place to rest. I will quickly find a place to rest, and without resting I will go on to carry our assignments. What was the point of stopping to rest then? Even the absence of a head will not prevent a Rastaman from puffing of a joint. Despite the fact that I don't need anything from these Rastaman jokes, and I was already about to leave them, I still decided to help one of them to kill several zombies, which in his opinion are chasing him because it was necessary to stretch the game apparently. For what reason fire zombies do not take fire damage, no one will tell us. There are sometimes moments, for some reason, not always, but sometimes when you die, the enemy's health is restored, but your first aid kits, ammunition and weapon health are not. Even though it doesn't happen all the time, it's still shit. Fuck, I almost stepped on. By the way, I almost forgot. Exploding red barrels cliché.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
And I, as you can see from my cheeks, Steve from Minecraft.
I have got enough things to be focusing on without your bullshit.
Sure. Yeah. I'm gonna go for a smoke. What the fuck?
Another video game character who can take off his clothes before going to bed. This woman reminded me of my old toothbrush, which I used for many years in a row and was likely to buy a new one. In the end, each of her looked a different direction, and even taking into her mouth was dumb. I don't even know why she reminded me of her.
The military have taken command, and they won't extract you until they have proof of your immunity.
What the fuck?
They're just so paranoid about the virus escaping from LA.
So let them lock me in a cage and gag me. They'll put me in so that I can bite anyone, and let them pull all the necessary examinations on me to confirm my immunity. What's the problem, eh? I still couldn't understand. Are these panties so leathery to the zombie, or are they just too lazy to draw the most interesting part of the model?
Good evening, Dr. Dorian. Please enter your authorization code. You have one attempt remaining.
A code? Come on, this is the 21st. Can't I just, rip out an eye or hack off a thumb or a nose?
I understand you, dude. I understand you very much and share your indignation. Here I once again need to kill the zombies, despite the fact that I need to jump onto the stairs and none of them could chase me, and I could continue my test saving your health and health of your weapon.
I think I'm having a panic attack.
And I think you are a fucking theater student. That feeling when you make only one shitty game under a new rebrand and there is nothing else to refer to beside it.
They better have a TimeSplitters machine.
This reference is a little better, and indeed, such an automat can also be found here.
Great, no labels.
You just press the button over which is label is passed. Over again I had to mow down a crowd of zombies in order to find the key of both in which you can stop the fair wheel, because just climb over the gaze squeezed between a slowly moving booth here I could not do it. So well done, you find a laptop, now take it under your arm and run away from here until the clown catches you, and you decided to immediately use it here, great idea. But I have to admit, I don't remember even meeting a zombie clown, so that is cool. I love dark games in which, thanks to the darkness, you don't see shit, and accordingly you can find shit where there at least some kind of passage. The bridge under the river decided to fall apart, from which hero fell in into the water, passed out, and the well-known magical current carrier is saved and sound to the nearest shore. And judging by the fact that the morning had already come, even did not let a single zombie near him at night.
Oh, I hope it's waterproof.
If this laptop can magnetize to a person and flying with the flow to get to the same place, where he not without drawing along the way, I think it also had a moisture protection function.
Hey, I'm Dr. Reed, but you can call me Ruben. Noah, they told me there's something in my blood that... Yeah, shh. Let's keep your specialness just between us.
Of course, there is an audio recording in which exposes all the Valician's plans of the will, and how could it be without this?
You've had my 2 cents, so go and ask Ruben his. But whatever conclusion you come to, remember...
What I need to remember, I still didn't understand. She seems to mutter something, at least it seems to me so, but I won't even try to make out what word is mumbling. Take off your shoes when you sit on a bed, you unconvinced bitch. Walking through the sewers, Emma managed to not soil her white shirt one bit. If they wrote Metro 2023 here, it would be a funny reference, but they didn't write it. And why they call it Metro in America and not Subway is also not entirely clear. Emma somehow manages to survive the run-in with this and many other zombies. Of course, I understand that who do you voodoo bitches is running with her there, but there are usually so many zombies that one person is not able to keep track of everything that happens around him. How does the shotgun deal so little damage? A secret button that opens a secret door that is hidden behind a closet cliché. The final boss fight is exactly the same boss fight with exactly the same opponents, in which I have already participated several times. Even the protagonist commented on this.
I've seen this before.
Could have created some unique monsters for the ending. And this final boss is hard to the point for a moment I thought that I could fucking pass it without reducing the difficulty. Here's such a balance. The first game was insanely simple, but this one is so fucking hard at times you can't find a shot in the middle.
I'm staying. Look, the cure's out there. Alone. I have to find her.
The hero decided to go in search of Tisha, seeing the rest of the characters by helicopter, after which the credits rolled. Apparently the rescue of the Tisha was left to the third part or the DLC or but the game turned out to be such an unfinished ending. And well, I actually expected a lot more from a game that been in such a long production hell. As practice shows, such games are about they usually turn out to be very crappy for some reason or another. But in this case it turned out to be something between the first Dead Island and the first Dying Light, which is pretty good. Dying Light of course I like much more with this more dynamic gameplay, but still such a game also deserves to exist. And what also deserves to exist is the button to subscribe to the channel, which you must press, as well as like and repost this video.